Claude 3 Opus, the most powerful version of the new Claude 3 family of models, has just dethroned GPT-4 as the most powerful language model out there, according to one of the major leaderboards. Now, the website leaderboard we're talking about is called lmsys.org, aka the Large Model Systems Organization. And this is a group that we've mentioned a couple times that evaluates large language models through a section on their website called their Chatbot Arena. Now, the Chatbot Arena uses crowdsourcing and ELO ratings, which are a popular way to evaluate how skilled people are at zero-sum games. They use it in chess a lot. And they use this methodology to rate the capabilities of large language models. So this leaderboard is one of the trusted industry sources of which models are most capable and powerful in any given moment. And as of us recording this on Friday around 9:10 a.m. Eastern, Claude 3 Opus now sits at the very top, just slightly beating out one version of GPT-4 that had previously been number one. Now, this is just one set of rankings, and the rankings change constantly, but that's actually the point here, and why I think this is important to talk about is that Claude 3 Opus came out this month and very quickly started to displace other very, very powerful models. And it quickly displayed incredible capabilities that could enable and empower you with certain use cases and workflows you might not have been able to totally dial in before. So, Paul, can you walk us through how do you think about all these different models and how fast things change and how to bet on singular models?
I mean, I don't know how you it is so fast moving. So I've been testing Claude 3 Opus through Perplexity. So I have the Perplexity paid plan, and you can choose which model you use. So I'll kind of bounce around and test the different ones. But I did finally just start paying directly for the Claude license. So it just, again, I think it just shows how dynamic this space is. As you mentioned, new models every week. There's a couple other models I think we're going to talk about in the rapid fire items. This is not the only news of the week of movement on the leaderboard. But the one thing that keeps coming back to me is everybody keeps talking about beating GPT-4 and this monumental thing that they're now ahead of GPT-4. GPT-4 came out in March of 2023, a year ago. It was training stopped 6 months before it came out. So everyone is now beating a model that is 18 months old. OpenAI has not stopped building and training a more powerful model. So if all of these companies are just catching up to GPT-4 and in some evaluations just beating them out slightly on different evaluations, what in the world is GPT-5 going to look like? It's just the thing that I keep coming back to, and we keep talking about how you can't get comfortable with the current technology. Is Claude 3 is amazing.
Yeah.
Our early testing is really impressive. You talked about some of your experiences with it last week. But it's being compared to an 18-month-old model. And so I got an email yesterday. I got to go check and see where the details are, but it said that DALL-E 3 is now going to have editing ability. You're going to be able to edit images within ChatGPT. So I think, as Sam talked about in Lex Friedman podcast, they're just going to gradually introduce a bunch of capabilities that collectively may be a part of the GPT-5 story, or whatever they end up calling the next version. And so that definitely play with Claude, pay the $20 a month if you need to, and just experiment with it. But it keeps building up my anticipation for what GPT-5 and Gemini 2 are going to be. And then I don't know, Mike, for you, but I thought it'd be interesting to note for people. So I actually, in Chrome, I have an AI tools group saved.
Yeah.
And so my current browser that has that, I have Runway. These are all the license I'm paying for that I have up all the time, that I have just bounce in and test depending on what it is. So I have Runway going, which I have for video and images. I have now my Claude license active. I have ChatGPT Team, and we have both a workspace and I still have the personal one. We have Google Gemini. I have Perplexity. Playground.ai I love for images. I have the Leaderboard, the Chat Arena you just mentioned, and then I now have Google AI Studio up where I can test Gemini 1.5 Pro. So if anyone's ever like, people always ask me like, what tools do you use every day? Those are the 2, 4, 6, 8 tabs that I have active all day long that I may jump in at any time. What about you? Do you have any other ones that you keep active all day long that you're
Yeah,
kind of
those
testing
are
or using?
my stack that I go to daily is very, very similar, I
Okay.
would say. Yeah, all I think that's worth noting, like all the paid versions of the major assistants, so Gemini Advanced, Claude 3, ChatGPT, Team Plus, whatever,
Right.
just so you can get the most powerful version of this stuff. I think Gemini 1.5 you mentioned is always open as well, just based on how interesting some of the capabilities are with the context window. I'd say honestly, just on top of that, Hemingway, Grammarly, just because I'm
Okay.
writing a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah, very similar stack. But you'd be so shocked how game changing even that stack can be if you're keeping this
Yeah.
open and using it for all
Yeah.
these things in your life.